So ladies and gentlemen, this is all about Mr. Ashutosh Jani and the topic. Over to Mr. Ashutosh Jani.
So good evening, friends. I'm very touched and honored to be here. I thank Ahmedabad Management Association, and it's been a very privilege, I feel, that today the National Management Day, and as a management professional, I have got an opportunity to share my thoughts, my understanding about this topic in front of you. I also thank Mr. Ganatra. It was really a good, elaborated introduction. So, the topic, as we know, winning in the digital age, right? So, if we talk about this, winning in this digital age, yeah, that itself raises the question, why we are talking about winning in this digital age, right? Because we have been living our life, right, without any having a major issues. We have been adopting the things as it has come. So why we are talking about winning in this particular digital age? So if we talk about digital, it starts with we wake up, right? Whether we are aware or not. It's there everywhere. Knowingly, unknowingly, we have been using this digital technology, right? If we start with our day with a kind of a listening to music, right? It is what? Today we are not using the old technology of gramophone, tape recorder, right? We are using either on YouTube or on a channel or on a other different devices, right? Similar way, if we look at our household items, we are talking about the smart homes today, right? There is a lot of buzz about smart home. We are talking about having the Alexa, Siri, yeah, so many things our daily we are using, which is helping us to keep our schedules, right? Our meetings. So the technology, when we talk about the digital technology, it is not something which is a very different rocket science. But yes, at the same time, it is something which is coming as a disruptive, continuously changing the technological platforms and the aspect. Right? So this topic, what we talk about, not only us, today we are talking about this, but if we are conscious or if we know what is happening in and around, just around 3 days before 19th of February, the European Union has published their first white paper on the European digital strategy. Right? What it talks about? The governments are also becoming so cautious how they wanted to drive their nation into this digital spectrum. So today, in the next coming slides, what we'll do, we'll just go through what is there as a part of digital technologies, right? And what are the things I see as a part of being a HR professional, having worked with the different technologies. I see that what is important to be there as an individual, as an organization, to be relevant with this. So first, let's have a boundary about what we are going to talk about, because digital technology is very vast subject, right? And we can have a number of hours, we can keep talking about that, and that will not end. So what usually we know as a digital technology is the historic period beginning from the 20th century, which is characterized by the rapid shift from the traditional industry that the Industrial Revolution brought through the industrialization to an economy primarily based upon the information technology. Yeah. This is the definition if we just try and see, we can get from the Wikipedia. Yeah. So we know we are talking about the different industrial revolution, right? Can anybody help me to know in today's time we are talking about what industrial revolution? 4.0, right? So we'll come to that as well. So when we talk about 4.0, what it usually talks about, right? And how the organizations are trying to meet with that. I've tried and see that if there is any other dictionary definition we can get. So this Cambridge Dictionary talks about the present time in which things are done by the computer and large amount of informations are available because of the computer technology. As a student, I used to hear that there is an information overload. There was around 10-15 years back, we usually talked about the information overload. But today, the same information overload has been shifted in another term as a big data, the data analytics. Unless you have a big data, the chunk of data, you can't have the right analysis done, right? So in today's era, when we talk about, we are having this digitalized global economy. Yeah? We still think that there is a manufacturing industry, right? There is a retail industry, service industry, which has been there, right? Maybe the supply chain, automobile, but everything is knowingly, unknowingly coming into the spectrum of digital era. And that's where the organizations today are having a boundaryless competition. Yeah? So the world economy, if we just try and connect this as an economical aspect and the growth aspect, right, the world economy is becoming the ecosystem, which is a digitalized global economy, right? And while we talk about this, yeah, I can give some example. Like today, we are talking about the slowdown. Why? Because there is a coronavirus. China is, so something is happening in China, the other part of the world, why it is impacting the another country, another nation, or the world together, right? So that's where the economies today, world economies today are interconnected, and they are using the various platform to be a part of that. So what are the challenges the organizations are facing today, right? So today's market, the global economy, if we see, that is a highly volatile market, right? It is a very rapidly changing technology. As Mr. Ganatra has told, that whether the organizations are having the different business models which is pushing the technology, or the technology is pushing the organizations to have the opportunities to be grabbed, right? So if we look at any organization today, whether it is a kind of a medium, small, or the large organization, right, they are facing this issue of being a highly volatile market. Things have changed, right? Today, even if we take the example of the normal traditional games, like cricket, the most close to the heart game of our Indians, right? How the digital technology is helping the cricket. Yeah? A very detailed analysis of each player, right? How it is possible because of this digital technology, right? Similar way it is there for the basketball, football, any game which we talk about, right? Even the Formula One racing, motorsports which has been there, that is also running with the digital sports, the digital technology. And it is causing the radical reordering of the traditional priorities which were there, right? Suppose today if we look at how many of us are using this Alexa at home? Yeah, many must be using that. Yeah, so that is what the Amazon. Yeah, today how the business model has changed because of technology. Amazon was initially the book company, right? It used to have the books sold on the digital platform, right? It is becoming now the entertainment company, right? In couple of movies when we go, we see the partner is Amazon Prime. Yeah, so this is the shift. So the business models are taking shape as the technology is changing, and the change of a technology is very rapid, right? I go back and see that not far, just 10, 12 years before, we have moved from that Kalipili taxi in Mumbai to something called Meru, right? Easy, Tab. Within 2 years' time, they have vanished. Why? Because Ola and Uber has started coming in. Right? Today, we order the food online. Yeah? Everybody, almost we are doing this. How it is made possible? Right? The technology. So, knowingly, unknowingly, we are getting into the spectrum of digital technology. And it is not about the businesses are changing the model. Businesses are required to be relevant to cater to the requirement of the time. Right? Also here, when we talk about the rising customers' expectation, so as the digitalization has happened, right, the transparency has increased. There is a rating system which has come. So we usually rate anything after having purchased or having used that service. So that rating system has helped the transparency whether I should go for that particular product or service or not. Right? So the customer's expectations has increased, because once you see that service level, definitely your expectation level would go in that different way. Here we have talked about few of the examples which are like close. We have been using the emails, right? Many of us has this Instagram, Facebook or Twitter account, right, which has emerged in last almost a decade in India. Right? But what is happening? Like we being in HR, when I am recruiting somebody, what I use? I use the technology to look at the person's tendency of a post on a social media. That helps me to understand the characteristic and the thought process, what thought process the person is usually living the life. And that helps me to understand whether I should recruit the person or not. Right? Today we are talking about this winning in this digital age. Around 2017, I was been there as a panel discussion at IIM Indore Mumbai campus. There we were talking about digital upskilling. Right? Today there is a lot of buzz, and that is keep going on since so many decades, that the automation will kill the job. And it is true. But what is required for individuals to be there? Individuals are required to be continuously upskilling their skills. Right? So when we talk about the automation, digitalization, and usually we see this VUCA world. Yeah, we have been familiar with this world, the volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, where we don't know what new thing will come tomorrow, and that will change the entire paradigm of that particular business. Right? GE is the another example. Around 20 years before, GE was having the largest, in terms of organizations, the largest market capital. But today if we see, GE is not number one. Yeah? So the different business models, the people who have taken the relevant changes and kept the pace with the changing technology has remained into the competition. The same example of a digital world failure, Nokia. Yeah, once upon a time we all was knowing the Nokia, but then the smartphone has come, and for around couple of years, the Nokia were nowhere, right? The Kodak, the camera, yeah? This is another example. Kodak has not taken the pace with the changing technology, right? So the things have changed and they have faced the slowdown. So there are multiple examples which are there, which has been a victim of this time because they are not been able to meet those challenges which is there as a part of a digitalization. Right? The rules of games are continuously changing. Right? The only thing which is constant, which we as a spiritually also we know, the change is constant. And the same applies to this digital technologies. That I remember when I was having my graduation done around 1990s, around 93, 94, there was a era of a computerization in India. Right? Windows 3.1 has introduced around that time. Right? Thereafter, this Windows NT, the network. Before that, people were using the LAN. Right? So that has slowly and gradually changed the spectrum, the way the industries and the service level has changed. Today, in organization also, what we are talking about? We are talking about the employee experience. Right? We talk about from joining till the exit, or even not as a joining. We have practiced that even the person comes to your organization, right? Whether he is selected or not, one should go with the good impression of the organization because people are the brand ambassador, right? So how you do that? How you change and how you kind of make that continuous impact, the experience, that is more important. Right? We have talked about the GE's example. The another is Ford, right? What Ford is doing right now? Ford is trying to just redefining itself as a mobility company, right? Not a manufacturer of cars and trucks. So that is the shift which these digital technologies are bringing to the large organizations. So it is important that so many challenges are there, and we'll see that there are so many collaborations which takes place. And in this digital world, it is now the today's requirement for any organization for providing the solution that I have to be there with the competition also to provide that very high level of experience to my customers, right? And I have to meet their high demands. Right? When today we are talking about digital technology, what we are talking about? This mobility integration, AR, yeah, the business intelligence, analyticals, the visualizations, data science, which is acquisition and management, right? Machine learning, AI, blockchains, this robotic process automation, the bots, the chatbots. Usually nowadays we come to know about any kind of an insurance site or anywhere we just find that, right? The HMI platforms, human machine integration, IoTs and IIoTs and edge computing. Right? So we will just touch point few of the things over here because it itself is a very detailed subject if we start talking about that. Right? So when we talk about artificial intelligence, this is something which is a machine intelligence. Right? The intelligence demonstrated by the machines. Right? It is leading to this field of study of intelligent agents, which has been built as a software which takes the decision based on the experience and the results which the particular field of study gives. Right? So this mobility integration, today we have this advertisement we have seen, the MG, the internet car. Right? What is it? It is connected. The various other models which are coming now, they have a facility that if the car have any issue, maybe an accident or any breakdown or anything, it sends the notification to whosoever you have configured. Right? So the things have become so easy. Today we are able to know, I'm able to know where my son is roaming today. Yeah? Whether it is possible, maybe 10 years before, without having the technology. Right? So, industrial automations, RPA, and the blockchain. The blockchain, we must be knowing that it has been invented in 2008 and mainly for the bitcoins, the cryptocurrency. But today, the Microsoft and a few other players are using the same technology to provide the subscription service for the blockchain, which has been considered as the safest data source. Right? So something which has come initially as keeping the data which is not authorized in the world economy secret, that technology today has been used as a part of a subscription service to the various organizations. Right? Way back somewhere around 2007-8, we had started understanding and listening about SaaS, SaaS, right? Where we have the capital, both the S capital and both the A small. That is a software as a service, right? That was the another, after this Windows and other things have come, that is the another technology change which has happened, that now to have any software, you don't have to have the cost of ownership. That has really changed the paradigm in terms of having the investments, because the organizations were very much afraid to making the crores of rupees of investment and then not sure about whether it will be successful or not. Right? Then the SaaS model has come, which has been subscription model. You use the software as a service, and whatever the per users you have, you pay for that, and you can exit as per whatever the clause which has been there. So from there the things have come, and today we are talking about the cloud computing. Right? So what is happening today, that there are various technology platforms which are available, and the connectedly this analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, bots, everything is working together to provide the seamless experience to the users and the administrator and the organizations. Right? Machine learning, we are usually not very aware because we have not experienced or seen that. But in the various different applications which are there today, the machine learning is integrated, AI is integrated. Right? And if we talk about what is machine learning, it is just a scientific study of algorithms and the statistical models that computer system use to perform specific tasks without explicitly instructed, relying on the patterns and inferences instead. Right? And it is considered to be the subset of artificial intelligence. So machine learning algorithm builds a mathematical model based on the initial key text, the test data which has been provided. And without being programmed, the algorithm learns and makes the predictive decisions. Right? And here it is very critical for organization today to keep the pace, because not the business model is required that, because that is the need of today. The big organization are pushing these things. Why that is so? Like I had tried getting the understanding of this digital market, and what I came to know about various sources, that this digital technology market was 290 billion USD in 2008, which is supposed to be estimated as 665 billion by 2023. Right? So what is happening? Like in my study also, I've concluded that it is the organization needs to keep the pace. Why? Because this platform is there. There is a business. So obviously there is a lot of investment which has gone into the research. They will come with the new technology and they will push to the market, right? And one of the major thing which one has to also understand that just implementing those digital technology doesn't make the organization or using that person becomes the successful, right? Because usually what the organizations are doing and why we are estimating this such a huge number today by this different McKinsey and Deloitte and various other technology companies, right? Because since I've worked in PwC, I know that how these figures are important for those organizations, right? There is a lot of buzz about Industry 4.0, right? And if we just break it to the simplest thing, what is Industry 4.0? The manufacturing organizations are using this automation, data exchange, cyber physical systems, IoT, Industrial Internet of Things, that is IIoT, cognitive computing, artificial intelligence, and global positioning, which is very well used for the tracking of the logistics movement in the organization, right? The marine movements, the on-road movements which are there. It is very much important for the cycle time and turnaround time for those particular supply chain solutions. So what is together if the organization uses this, how it is helping? So when it has been uses together, the digital transformation is altering the priorities, right? It is altering the expectations at the work and helping the organization to get the performance increased number of the accurate data points, right? The predictive analysis is made very much important for organization, which helps the organization to have the when the downtime of a machine will take place, which helps the organization to have the higher productivities, the constant rate of productions, like whatever the cost which is going for your production, you are able to know through this predictive analysis, the different big data analysis which has been there. This is the spectrum. Like when we talk about this Industry 4.0, the smart devices, enterprise system, the industrial data source, everything is interconnected, right? And when they connect together, right, it gives a very robust output to the organization, which helps the decision makers to take the right decision. Here we quickly look at this digital journey of the organization and the different terminology which has been used at a various level. But when we talk about in nutshell, the basic, intermediate, high and advanced, these are the different stages which are there as a part of our organizational journey. When we talk about basic, we used to have only the emails and the basic website. Traditional marketing technology means no technology which has been used. Traditional marketing has been there. When we talk about the intermediate, right, we had started building this websites with the customer interaction. The CRM has started into the next third stage, right? And in the advanced stage, now the organizations are mainly using this chatbots. They have an integrated solution of the CRM with their internal SAP or whatever the system they are using for their business decision making. And how the organizations are using this technology, but whether it is making any impact to them. So there was a survey in 2019 conducted by Deloitte, which talks about that 85% of all small and medium business, because here the concern is mainly for small and medium businesses which are there, because the large organization anyhow will be able to transform themselves to the using the digital technology and being relevant with that. However, it is very difficult for small and medium organization. So it says that 85% of small and medium business are having the digital tools, and which is helping them on some or other way. And around 90% of all the SMB believes, the small and medium organization believes that digital tool have fostered the innovation in their business. Right? So the disruption is there. The disruption is talking about either reinvention or invention. The things are changing rapidly, right? So innovation has been one of the key for growing organization. If the organization has been able to innovate, and here we are not talking about the real innovation, right? In the literature, the innovation is something which I am doing if I improve in that, right? In terms of my product quality, in terms of my product services, that is also considered as an innovation. The way I do the things, in other way, we talk about in a management parlance as a transformation, right? But the innovation is also not something which is required a very hardcore innovation. Today, the organization gets successful based on how we are able to change the thought process, the mindset of a people within the organization, right? The way we work, we change that, and that helps the organization to succeed, right? Like we have taken this example of Amazon from book to today where they are, right? Another example, LinkedIn. Yeah, initially it was only the professional network site, but today LinkedIn is a major recruiting learning solution. Right? They have started offering those services to the clients. This is a McKinsey analysis last year, 2019, by Panorama. This talks about the ecosystem illustration as total estimated sales by 2025. Right? And this is all what figure we have talked about as a part of this 665 US billion is something the overall market which is there. So digitalization, if you look at, it is covering all the aspects with the machine, equipment, like accounting, legal, management of companies, transport services, right, financial services, health and wellness. Right? The wellness has become today largest industry segment. Like today we are using either the smartwatch or maybe any application to measure our health, right? How many steps I walked, right? Whether I had a good sound sleep or not, right? We are using so many things. So the health, wellness, public services, content writing, education, mobility, travel, hospitality, logistics, corporate banking, like this all has a coverage of a digital spectrum. So the digital age is not leaving aside any of the business today, and that's where it is important for the businesses to understand what is important for the business to be at the core. Right. So here we'll just see one example of what the digital enterprise has been called by the various organizations. So here this is the video about this Siemens, what it talks about the digital organization and how this, whatever the AI, machine learning, BI, which we have talked about, automation, how it can help the organization.
Let's be honest. The world has changed a lot over the past few years. Today, you can configure and order electric scooters online and name your preferred delivery date. New products, faster, more personalized. Yeah. The things we like to do for fun present major challenges to companies all over the world. From personalized production to mass producing one-off items and getting new products to market with lightning speed. Securely and flexibly, of course, delivering exactly what the customer wants with consistently high quality at affordable prices while always looking for new ideas to generate more business. This takes true entrepreneurial spirit and a whole lot more. Product development, automated production processes, and digitalization must go hand in hand in order to create a company that can do all this. In other words, a true digital enterprise. A digital enterprise? Digital enterprises taking the corporate culture needed to do these things. Great. What does that mean? It means looking at things holistically. The products, machinery, processes, the entire plant, complete production, and the way everything performs. Not just the hardware, but most of all, the data models and software solutions. Only by combining, processing, using, and continuously optimizing virtual and actual information can you come up with something new, something better. This is what we call the digital enterprise. And there is only one company that really excels at this. Siemens. We do equally well in a variety of industries, whether it's brewing beer, mixing paint, producing medicine, or assembling cell phones, airplanes, or cars. Why is Siemens so good at this? Siemens has mastered the principle of digital twins, which means it has something special to offer. Picture this. You want to produce a new soft drink or modify an existing recipe. Okay. The first step is to experiment with the recipe and then simulate, optimize, and test the ingredients digitally, across the board. Of course, your drink needs a cool bottle and an eye-catching label, both of which you can also design digitally. You can then use this data to simulate the bottle and make sure it's stable enough, all without having to build expensive prototypes. Once you're happy with your product, you have to plan its production. What machines to use and with which functions? How do they fit with your existing equipment? How do you organize the flow of goods, employees, workflows? You can now do all this digitally in a process called the digital twin of production. It's faster and more efficient, and of course, there are also fewer errors once you switch to the real world. You can transfer information, tests, and processes to actual machines and entire plants with the press of a button. We even have cool technologies that let you digitalize existing factories. And of course, we have an automation portfolio like no other. Siemens calls this
Totally integrated automation.
because everything is interconnected and therefore delivers huge quantities of valuable data. Totally integrated. So now production is up and running, and we are creating a tremendous number of wonderful products and generating lots of data, which must, of course, be protected. The digital twin of performance is our term for all operating and production information, as well as information about the finished product. The good and sometimes the not so good data flows back into the virtual product and production planning processes, thus continuously optimizing the entire system. We have cool cloud-based analysis tools and trailblazing new technologies that keep making everything better and more transparent. And if you don't know where to start, don't worry. Siemens has digitalization service experts who can guide you on where and how to take the first step. Once you've done all this, you have built a digital enterprise. And that means that everything will now be much faster, more individualized, and have the highest quality. It's good for customers, and it's good for the industry. To sum it up, a multitude of software tools and products must, of course, all work together. And Siemens has a name for this, the digital enterprise.
So, if today, if we are talking about having a particular product to be manufactured, it is not essential to have built that all the physical assets. You can stimulate, test it, and then go for the production, right? The 3D printing is available, and that is handy also today, right? So that is an additive method of a manufacturing, that layer by layer it adds, right? So as compared to the convention thing. So it is very much important that if the organizations uses the right decision, right? And not everything has a very huge cost. It requires the light, holistic viewpoint, how we are looking at the problem and thinking about its solution. That is important, right? The another example is talking about the automation. Like here, when we looked at this video, it is very important that when you are able to control, like in one of my previous organization, we were controlling the entire manufacturing operation with the DCS operator. Yeah. So what it helps? It helps in terms of to reduce the safety hazards to the individuals who are working, who goes for the maintenance work. Because if you have any kind of an issue with any equipment, the system automatically blocks those area. So there is no material, no liquid which has been there, no solvents which are there. So when the maintenance person goes, they have to be careful with their PPEs and all, but then you don't have a sudden splash of the chemical on the individual, right? That is possible just because of having the right solution implemented. And it is not something which is a major rocket science which is there, right? At the same time, in the huge complex manufacturing plants, right, it is very difficult to have the maintenance done of a particular instrument, right? So this digital technology today is helping there as well to know that the equipment will fail, the predictive analysis of the equipment, right? And that's where this human machine intervention, the HMI softwares and the platform hardware and software bundle which is there, that helps the organization. Right. This is another video of a small automation. Like, do we know this robotics, right? The companies have started, like particularly in the automobile manufacturing, right? The robotic hands we have been familiar with in last 15-20 years. But the first robot was built by ABB. It was not at that time called ABB. It was a separate entity way back in the Second World War era, right? So the things which has come to us in India is maybe at a later stage, but world over those uses has been very, very long. So this is one example of robotic automation which helps the small and medium organization.
We're launching our first truly collaborative robot. You know, this robot is something which is different. You know, we haven't had a robot like this before. We're going to start collaborating with humans. It's amazing. We're going to remove barriers. We're going to have no zones. We're going to work close with people. It's a new era.
We are so proud of, after many years of research and development, to finally be able to launch our dual-arm collaborative robot, Yumi. It is absolutely safe to work both with and in connection with Yumi. It is a true collaborative robot, and I think finally it is actually more than just a robot. Actually, it is a complete solution developed for small part assembly.
And this is going to change the way how companies see manufacturing and collaborative robotics and the small part assembly especially. So I feel very proud about this. our sales teams in 50 countries are really excited about the new launch, and they are looking forward to go to the customers and really demonstrate the value that we can provide with Yumi. It's so exciting to see that we had this morning German Chancellor Merkel and Indian Prime Minister Modi to visit us and try themselves how easy it is to program our Yumi. So it's really exciting to see this.
As we looked into the industry and we said, hey, there's a lot of need for collaborating or automation in small parts assembly or assembly lines. So we had a concept that we started with, and this concept developed into what we have today. And I mean, it far surpasses anything that I ever believed that we would have. You know, this product is truly amazing now.
So there are various solutions which are there, which helps the organization in small and the big way, which is available today. Like ABB, yeah, how we know ABB? It was the switch gear, right? The transformer company, yeah, where today ABB is talking about redefining and repositioning themselves as the ABB Ability Framework, where they talk about connecting all the hardware, software, having the data about the performance of their products which has been installed world over. Right? So likewise, all the technology company and the big companies today are posing themselves into the digital economy, because they see that, okay, the future is there, the business is there. And as I come from the HR background, this is the last video which I'm going to show about how the technology is also touching the lives of the professionals.
Imagine if technology adapted to you.
Since being promoted to regional sales manager, my mornings are off to a running start. Oracle, tell me what's happening today.
You have 4 events today.
Who am I interviewing?
You are interviewing Steve Tomlinson at 4 p.m. today.
Oracle, tell me which color.
My favorite color is red.
I'll stick with white.
Are you gonna be at my game tonight?
Bet, kiddo. Time to go. Oracle, tell me what's next.
Would you like to continue reviewing Steve's resume?
Yes. Where has he worked?
Steve has worked at Votive Computing and Hub Networks. You are about to reach your destination. Do you want to reserve an office?
Yes.
Office 320 has been reserved for you.
Do I have time to stop for a kombucha?
That will add 20 minutes to your arrival time.
All right. Oracle, start my day.
Welcome, Lisa Jones. The office is set to your preferences.
Oracle, open quarterly forecast.
Okay, here is the quarter's forecast.
Thanks, Rob. That's really great news. Nope, we'll send the documents over right away. No need to stay late. All right, take care. Oracle, start opportunity for Rob Barker.
Done. Would you like to review your meeting details?
Yes.
Here are the agenda items for the meeting. Quarterly forecast snapshot. Sales talking points. And by the way, it is Sally's birthday. Anything else?
Are all required attendees present?
All required attendees accepted.
Happy birthday, Sally. Thank you. Oracle, start my meeting.
paprika, and a number of other spices. You can also buy Moroccan spice blends pre-made if you want to.
Oracle, tell me what's left for today.
Would you like to review and submit your expense report?
Yes, submitted.
Done. Would you like to review and send the offer to Steve Tomlinson?
Yes, include a start date 3 weeks from now.
I submitted the offer and initiated the pre-hire checklist.
Mom, can we go to the beach tomorrow?
Oracle, what's tomorrow look like?
You have no meetings scheduled for tomorrow. The weather forecast is for sunny skies.
Sure, bud.
Yes!
So there is a everyday connect with the technology, and more we are getting used to it. And as we are getting used to it, we do not notice that we are using the digital technology. Yeah? Let's now come back to our real question with which we have started, why the winning is important. Like, we have seen the challenges, we have seen a couple of examples, but why the winning is important and how one can be relevant and winning. These are the thoughts which I have. Right? So what I feel is digital doesn't have to be disruptive always. Right? Many a times the best results can come from adaptation rather than reinvention. Right? In management, we have a tendency to use the jargon. Right? We are using this Industry 4.0, that is the Industrial Revolution 4.0, that is fine. Right? But then we have a Workforce 4.0, right? Workplace 4.0. We are talking about various other concepts like Supply Chain 4.0, yeah? The Mobility 4.0. Like, we have started, once we have started naming one, the things have started getting into the another concepts also. So always the implementation of a digital technology is not the success, but how it has been implemented, right? That is important. And that requires the real challenge in any organization, right? Because there we are dealing with the mindset of individuals. Right? There were a lot of studies which were there that initial years when the ERP were introduced, yeah, the organization spends crores of rupees on ERP, but its adaptation, its usage is nil. Right? All the investment goes to the toss. So what is important is to have a people understood the relevance of that, and that's where all the managerial professional has to work towards that okay, what is the need of an organization and what we should be doing. Right? So as earlier we have seen, to win, the companies will need to embrace new relationship and ways of a collaboration, right? Because this is a collaborative world today. The global economy, digital ecosystem which is there, the collaboration is the main key, right? Because killing some competition is not today's mantra. It is to work together and co-create the customer experience is the overall today's mantra for the organizations. Right? And organization or individuals has to focus what matters most as a core value proposition, right? Competitive advantage and human and organizational need. That is important for winning into this particular digital age. Right? Digital upskilling. Right? There is always a talk about if the automation will come, the jobs will go. Right? And the recent study says that around whatever is possible today, by the automation, around 60% of today's traditional job can vanish. Right? So what is important? So 1/3 of the job which are there today can be taken over by this, all the digital technology, artificial intelligence, right? Machine learnings, everything. And for that, the digital upskilling is very much important, right? And use of technology to help people improve their work. The technology is there as an enabler, right? If we use that in the right spirit, it helps to increase the productivity, quality, rather than replacing the human with the machines, right? So that's where the upskilling, like if we make ourselves relevant to what is changing, what is coming, and we be prepared to embrace that, right? It is not likely that machine will replace the human. Yeah, human will always have the upper hand over the machine, right? And winning organizations would be those which maximize with the empathy. Now again, this is my close to heart, the HR subject comes, right? The organizations who works with the empathy with the people, right? Who work for the transformation by having the various empowering practices, and the agile organization, something which is ready for a change, right? The people, the workforce is ready to embrace any change which is coming, right? To adopt that and to again relearn on that. That is very important. So this were a couple of thoughts which were there as a part of today's session, right? So though it is not a rocket science, it is very large, so it has to be seen holistically, then only we will be able to come with the right solution to be relevant in this volatile and VUCA world. Thank you.